you don't want to count yourself out and not be considered for roles that you are 100% qualified for because you're trying to maintain, the same title and be ethical, using the title that your company gave you. When quiet is kept, they just made it up. They simply attached a name to a job profile for their own personal tracking. So do not feel like you are bound to use the exact words that they used. You want to use the titles that people are searching for that describe your skill set and that align to what you want to be known for. Today we're talking about how to turn your LinkedIn profile into a lead magnet. How to turn your LinkedIn profile into a lead magnet, because your LinkedIn profile should absolutely be doing more than allowing you to scroll somebody's feed, make random connections, all those things. Use it like Facebook. I want to make sure you guys are using LinkedIn and the power that it has in your job search. I think this is important because most of you know, if you've been following me for a while or if you're new here, I don't believe in applying for jobs online. That means LinkedIn, that means Monster, that means Indeed, wherever you find jobs posted. I don't believe in applying for them there because I do not think that's effective, and I don't think that is how people land jobs. In fact, I know that's not how people land jobs. And so my experience with that, I've never applied for a job online. I have 18 years of corporate experience. I started as an engineer. So I got my first job at a career fair, didn't apply there. And from there, I think I was on LinkedIn from that point forward. And I used my profile as a magnet. I had my resume on with a few headhunters. And so people would always just come to me with jobs, and I never had to go out looking. So that's been my experience. And now I want to teach other people how to do it because there are so many people in these LinkedIn streets looking for jobs, applying for jobs forever, not getting traction, not getting feedback. And so I'm here to help. I got 4 ways to turn your LinkedIn profile into a lead magnet. The first thing you got to do is to make sure you have a clear headline that explains what you do and how you add value. So your headline on LinkedIn is the 2 or 3 sentences that's below your name, and that's what everyone sees when they pull you up. So you got to have a clear headline. You don't want to go for something clever. I've seen a couple different things that don't lead to you being able to get a job. Some people have very clever things like, saving the world, one project at a time, or very long paragraphs that, something that looks like it should be in an essay. And then some people don't have anything. So, and what happens when you choose one of those methods is that you're making people work way too hard to figure out who you are, what you do, and why they should connect with you. Why should they be interested in your profile? And what I liken that to is the email without the subject line. That is like the bane of my existence, right? If you send me an email with no subject line, or you send me a meeting request with no context, I don't want to attend. I don't want to come. I don't want to show up blind. I don't have time to, scroll through to try to figure out what it is you could possibly want or need. And people are the same. Recruiters and hiring managers are feeling the same way when they come to your profile and your name pops up in a list and they don't have any other context. That means they have to click through. And sometimes they might not have time, and so they might just skip it. And you don't want to be skipped. So the first thing you want to do is make sure your headline is clear and that it talks about what you do and how you add value. The second thing is you want to make sure you have an attention-grabbing title. An attention-grabbing title is a title that someone would be searching for. And I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I know a lot of job seekers feel as if the title that's on their resume and the title that's on their LinkedIn profile, that it has to match exactly what their current employer has dictated that it say. And that is 100% not true. Because all these other companies, they pick and choose what they want to call people, but the role and the task and the assignments, they're generally very similar. So you don't want to count yourself out and not be considered for roles that you are 100% qualified for because you're trying to maintain, the same title and be ethical, using the title that your company gave you. When quiet is kept, they just made it up. They simply attached a name to a job profile for their own personal tracking. So do not feel like you are bound to use the exact words that they used. You want to use the titles that people are searching for that describe your skill set and that align to what you want to be known for. And then the third thing you want to do is to make sure your about section, the about section in your profile, is filled with keywords. Keywords that can be found in the job descriptions that you're interested in the names of the titles, so that when a recruiter or a hiring manager, when they go to LinkedIn and they do a search looking for people who fit the mode of what they're looking for, you want to make sure you come up in that search. If you don't have any of the keywords, if you don't even remotely look like you're in the field, people are not going to find you. And if they do find you, they're going to immediately, swipe. They're going to immediately swipe because they're going to say, this isn't the person, they have nothing to do, with my field. And so I think that's something important for career pivoters to realize and internalize, that if you want to navigate away from the career that you were in previously, you have to show up as what you want to be on LinkedIn right now, today, because people are not going to see your potential and say, oh, she used to be doing that and now she wants to do this. There has to be some proof. And for a lot of job seekers, your LinkedIn profile is your social proof. So you need to have that. And I mentioned, the recruiters and the hiring managers doing searches. There is a notification. So if you go to your notifications, and I'm not sure, I think you have to have LinkedIn Premium for this, but if you go to your notifications, it'll tell you which searches or how many searches you're coming up in. So if you are aspiring to be a project manager, or you are a project manager looking for roles, are you coming up in searches? Because if you're not coming up in searches, that's a clear indicator that you need to do some work on your profile to make it more of a lead magnet, to make more people, get more eyeballs on your profile, so that you can essentially finally get into that role that you're trying to get into. And then my final thing that you need to do to turn your profile into a lead magnet is you need to have some recommendations. So all the way at the bottom of your LinkedIn profile, there is a section for recommendations, and you can request them from your previous employers, your colleagues, anybody. That way, people can get a sneak peek into what it's like to work with you. And then that's another form of social proof, right? Other people are saying, I've worked with them, whatever they say. It shows that it separates you from everybody else, because a lot of people don't do it when they're just being job seekers. They don't really have recommendations. And so I think the recommendations are like the reviews, right? Everyone reads reviews. If you book a hotel room, you read reviews. If you want to go to a restaurant, you read the reviews. So as a job seeker, this is your way of giving people the ability to read the reviews and get to know a little bit more about you, because that's what you really want. You want the seed to be planted in their mind that this person is really a potential candidate for my role. And one of the ways you can do that is to give them some reviews to read. Recruiters are not going to reverse engineer the problem. They're not going to look at your skills, look at your background, and figure out where you fit. That's something you have to do for them. So you figure out your skills and your background, where it fits, and then you go to them when you can say, these are my skills and my background, and I'm interested in this role, because then the only thing they have to do is launch into action. I think it takes a long time for recruiters to get really, really good and to actually understand and be able to spot, what skills are required. That's why you have to do it. You do it for them. You do your homework. You present yourself as having the answer. It saves them some work. And if you come to them and you are able to articulate who you are, what you do, how you add value, they have no choice but to pass you along. Because sometimes they don't know enough to say no, right? They don't know enough to say no. But if you come to them with nothing, they can say no immediately. And that's not what you want. My name is Gerrie. I'm the career coach for the people. My specialty is helping professionals in STEM careers pivot without getting new degrees, new certifications, and without applying for hundreds of jobs online. I have a set of strategies that I use that I help my clients find jobs without going through the usual, because a lot of people going through the usual route are stuck. In my signature program, the Career Brand Accelerator, there are 5 modules that we go through. And in the second module, that's when we optimize your resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn profile. And so if you know that you're not coming up in LinkedIn searches, it's crickets in your DMs, nobody's reaching out to you, you really think your profile could be a problem, I would say go ahead and drop "I need this" in the chat so that I can connect with you. And we can talk about how to get you over that hurdle and what would be next. Because a lot of people, I find, the profile is literally just there because somebody asked them to make it. And so even if you're going to do quick apply, even if you're going to, go your own route and not do, how I suggest you find jobs, which is networking. Even if you're going to do quick apply, those recruiters are coming right to your profile. So it needs to be ready. It needs to be tight. And so that's why I think you need to turn it into a lead magnet so that you always have inbound traffic coming to you, looking for you.